Is there going to be signs? Yeah. Printing is going to accelerate. The debt's only going to continue to increase quicker. The more rapidly it increases, the closer we'll get to the reset. But when the actual reset happens, it'll look like hyperinflation, and then there'll be a reset. Imagine when there's hyperinflation, how much that increase is going to happen.
It's going to be insane.
It's going to be ridiculous amounts of increase, right? Because everybody will want to get out of dollars because it'll be really obvious. And they'll want to be in gold. So the price of gold will go through the roof.
Yeah. Gold Rush episode 15. Woohoo!
Sweet. And you are wearing your seatbelt correctly.
I am wearing. People are very concerned. Very concerned. I will say it was an optical illusion. It wasn't under my arm. It was just a little bit too low, but I appreciate everyone looking out.
Well, because they're used to the orange seatbelts
instead
of the black ones.
Right. You couldn't miss
before
it
before. You knew it was being worn correctly. I know you asked people, send us your questions. So what did you get?
The first one being, which makes sense, I think, coming off of the video that we had last week with stablecoins and Russia kind of exposing potentially the U.S. plot to devalue our debt. There were some additional questions around that topic. I think a lot of people are just curious, there's been this narrative with stablecoins that, if we push widespread adoption of them, and it's backed 1-to-1, one stablecoin to $1 of U.S. Treasury debt, wouldn't that help the United States? Wouldn't that help our debt problem? And wouldn't that therefore help the dollar?
Okay.
And I think the first answer is yes, it's going to boost demand. It's going to create this artificial demand for our debt. But the second part of this, and I think why it resonated, that video, with so many people, is that if that happens, the United States then can turn around and potentially say, okay, instead of 1-to-1, this is now one stable coin to 80 cents or 50 cents instead of $1, right? They could essentially devalue the backing of these stable coins, which is going to help the US's debt burden and basically pull the rug out from everyone else who has stable coins or is using stable coins. So it's inflating the debt onto the rest of the world, which is something the US has done before, right?
Yep.
It's a default by any other name. It's a silent default, right? The same way in the 70s we defaulted on our promise that nations could convert their dollar holdings into gold. It would be the same type of idea today where it's 1-to-1, but no longer it's 1-to-1. And I think it struck a chord with people because they've been thinking, okay, wait, aren't stablecoins going to be a good thing for our debt? Yes. And maybe this also helps solve a debt problem, but at what price? And I think maybe that's what people are missing. You can't pull the rug out from everyone like that and then expect the dollar not to fall as well. The same way in the 70s, over a decade, 50% of purchasing power was gone in the US.
Yeah, and if you pull the rug out, then you're going to have a rush of people exiting the stablecoin, right? Because they don't want it. If they realize that it's a ruse, people rush out, and then what happens is it crashes it.
Totally. Yeah, no, it's not good. And I think what's different maybe this time is in the past, the US, without maybe social media or people being as plugged into what's going on or alternative news sources, I think that this time around, maybe more people are wise to the US's antics, and fool me once, fool me twice type situation too.
Well, definitely. I mean, there's been so much more dis-ease with everything that the United States government is doing. More distrust, just not believing anything that we're doing and saying, which it makes sense. I mean, being lied to over and over and over again, eventually you just go, okay, well, I don't think we can trust any of this. And regardless, I always try to bring it back to, because you're getting a lot of experts now talking about gold and silver, especially with the price going up.
Oh yeah.
And the reason that is because it is the one true savior.
Yeah.
Right? You know that if you take your dollars and convert them into real money gold and keep it there, that they're going to continue to debase the dollar and gold will continue to go up because you can't debase gold at the same level.
No.
Right?
No.
they mine gold, but it doesn't keep up with the pace at which we print, right? Dollars. Especially now with it accelerating to 1 trillion every 2 months. So, as long as you are converting your dollars into real money, you can always convert it right back, right? Whenever you need to spend, but you're getting it out. It's essentially getting it out of the system and putting it into a real money that is known worldwide as real money.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why you're starting to see the price rise as much as you are, is because more people are distrusting the system and more people are putting their money into gold because they know it's the one true safe haven.
Definitely. That actually brings up another question that we got from people for this week. There's been a lot of buzz recently around gold-backed cryptocurrencies. And I saw some questions like, are there any safe ones? Are there any that you would recommend? Or what are our thoughts on those? And I think we're going to see more of these questions as gold does become more the focus.
Well, here's my question to that question.
Yeah.
Why put your money into a gold-backed crypto when you can just own the real thing?
Right.
All you're doing is putting your money into a gold-backed crypto that could also have the rug pulled, right? It's only as good as the
custodians,
people that are running it, the company that owns and runs it, right? We've seen so many crypto have the rug pulled, right? So why buy a gold-backed crypto when you can just own the real thing?
Right.
It's a gimmick.
Well, I think what's funny about it is I think the answer that I've seen online to that is convenience and accessibility, which is interesting because if you went back to, let's say, 1932 and asked certain people about holding a piece of paper currency versus the real deal with gold, I'm sure they would go back and choose the real deal with gold, because those who hold the underlying asset are the ones who hold the true wealth and power, right? Anyone else, all you're doing is holding a promise, really, is what it comes down to. And
yeah, totally.
Maybe for the time being, people will accept that promise and act on that promise and take it at face value for what it promises to be. But again, long term, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you bring up a good point with the question of accessibility and liquidity. Certainly if you have the physical gold itself, you're holding your money in real money.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And essentially you have it in your possession and it is harder to liquidate. Now you could just go down the road. Most people have availability of going to like a coin store that buys and sells gold and swapping out. Relatively easy, just like you would go to a bank. To get cash out of the bank, you can go and swap it. So it's not really that difficult to do. But like if you were gonna put it in something and then you were gonna spend it and you were gonna use it to like, okay, now I'm gonna swap it out real quick and I'm gonna go buy something over here.
Yeah.
Anything you're gonna keep your money in long term should be in the physical, period.
Yeah.
Not even ETFs. Like if you're gonna trade the spot price because you wanna trade the volatility like a day trader would, then yeah, you want ETFs. You want, you don't really want to be in the physical because it's hard to trade in and out of. But anything you're doing long term, it's cheaper because the storage costs can be nil if you keep it in your own home safe. And like ETFs get eroded over time because they have to pay their fees and everything. So anything that's long term, it should definitely be in physical. But if you want to speculate on other things, if you have the physical, you can speculate on whatever you want.
Whatever you want, right. I think it's really good that people hear this too, timing wise. I saw an article that came out today. I think it was Goldman Sachs is now changing their recommendation for clients to 60, 20, 20. 60%, stock market portfolio, traditional, whatever, 20% bonds, and then 20% gold holdings of some kind. But of course, it's not physical, right? But it is interesting to me that they've upped that, basically doubled it from their prior recommendation of 10%.
Why do you think?
Well, they know what's coming.
Right.
Yeah.
We're printing money now faster than we ever have.
Right, but it's if that's not a clear-cut signal, right,
Yeah.
that now we're seeing Wall Street, right, and these big institutions kind of leaning that way, that should tell you something right there too. You know what I mean? But they're still finding a way, of course, to do it. It's not physical. They still want to make sure they get their management fees off of you. You know what I mean? Keep everything in their system instead of you having your own control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some other questions we got around the reset, which we always get questions on. And I know we talk about it a lot, but people can feel it. They can feel it accelerating, but at the same time, they see there's kind of this melt up going on, right?
Yep.
So more questions around like, you know, how long do we think this is going on? And I know we can't answer, we don't have a crystal ball, but you know, the classic kind of like,
Well, why do you think people want to know that?
well, they wanted time. I think they want to time the market, time their purchase, try and figure out, you know, maybe it's to get prepared. Probably a combination of things.
Yeah, I think people want to know that. I think people ask that question because obviously there's uncertainty and they want clarity.
Yeah.
But why do you want the clarity? Right? Why do you want the clarity? Do you want it because you want peace of mind? Do you want it because you think you want to know the actual timeline? Well, no one knows what the real timeline is. You can't predict it, right? I mean, if we went back in time,
yeah,
and told people back then, let's say 2008, right, almost 20 years ago, and we said, hey, by 2025 the government will be $37 trillion in debt. I think a lot of people would think, well, shoot, the system should have been broken by then. That doesn't make any sense. How the heck can we get to that level? And try to have made predictions that it would have happened sooner. Well, no one knows. No one knows. So you came from the prepping background. We talked about this before. For those of the people that are watching us newly, you get your stuff in order now.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to think about those questions, right? Is there going to be signs? Yeah. Printing is going to accelerate. The debt's only going to continue to increase quicker. The more rapidly it increases, the closer we'll get to the reset. But when the actual reset happens, you know, it'll look like hyperinflation and then there'll be a reset. But when it actually happens, we don't know. How exactly it's going to happen, we don't know. And so just get your ducks in order now so you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Right? Get everything you need. Be prepared. Be ready. And then when it happens, you're good.
Totally. Well, to that point, for people who are trying to get ready right now or trying to figure out their strategy, there were some questions around, okay, you know, I know I need to get ready. I need to be prepared. What should I be looking at? Is it, you know, gold bullion? Is it gold coins? Is it gold fractional versus silver? All these kinds of questions. Again, there was a grouping of these types of questions of specifically what should people be buying? And I know we always say it's different for everyone, but I thought that was a good question maybe for you to take.
Yeah, the answer to that is nuanced because every single person is different and their situation and scenario is different because, you know, just like in the investing world, whether it's stocks or bonds or, you know, cryptos or whatever, real estate, there's different tools for different jobs. Right. And so, and the same thing can be said for gold and silver when it comes to a reset, right? There are certain types of gold you're going to want for certain situations, certain types of silver you're going to want for certain situations. I think in regards to that particular question, if you have a particular question that's right for you, like what's right for me, I would say call and talk to one of our experts. It's free to talk to them and they can help you build out a plan or a strategy that will fit your goals and objectives and what your concerns are and what your outlook is. But the tools are still the same, right? Like I'm probably not going to buy gold bullion to barter with, really. I mean, maybe some Valcambi bars that you can break them into 1 gram.
Yeah.
But you're paying a lot per spot price ounce to get those, right? So you're probably not going to want to have a bunch of that in there. I'm going to use silver mostly for barter stuff. Probably stuff that's more recognizable in the United States because that's where I'm going to have to barter it. So like Silver Eagles and and junk silver, like old coins, old quarters and dimes that are pre-1965. I'm going to use pre-1933 gold coins that are graded, higher level to maintain my wealth, because premium compression is really low right now, and during the next crisis, premiums will explode. That'll actually increase my wealth during a period of a reset versus just having bullion. It tends to keep your purchasing power even over time. It does increase some, but with pre-1933 gold, you'll see an explosion during those times. I mean, and this is why I say it's nuanced, right?
For
You
sure,
hear me
for
rattling
sure.
off
Yeah,
a lot of
no,
things.
no.
I can go even deeper into all that data, but it totally is going to depend on how old are you? What kind of expenses do you have? Do you have a lot of high medical expenses, or do you not have any? Do you have, which would necessitate more spend?
Right.
Right. So I would say if you want to know more, you should call us, because that's what we do. I mean, like, our people are really good at that, and they can help people put together a plan that's right for them.
Totally. People who are looking to be prepared, people who are already prepared, who have gold and silver and are wondering, okay, this was an interesting one. We got some questions. How do we know when it is time to sell as the reset accelerates, right? Is there a point?
You don't sell.
Yeah.
You don't sell unless you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that's really frustrating right now for me, because I see people who have great positions in gold and silver, and because the price is up, they think, oh, we should sell now.
It's time to sell, but it's the wrong mindset.
It's the whole wrong mindset. Like, you're in a great position. Why get rid of that wealth insurance when we're just at the beginnings of this money printing experiment, and with it accelerating? And no one should be thinking I should sell right now, unless you absolutely need the funds for surviving. You should be holding on to your gold and silver no matter what. And you should only be selling when you absolutely need to. That's when you sell, right? So, the reset happens and you need money. You can put that money back into dollars at any time, and then use those dollars to buy whatever you need. The time to sell is when you need to, not when you want to, not when the price goes to $50,000 an ounce. It's when you need to, because what you're doing is you're putting money into real money. You're taking your money out of shit dollars and putting it into real money, gold and silver, and you're holding it in real money.
Yeah.
While you watch the dollar wither away to nothing. Why would you want to change it back into dollars? Unless the reset happens and now they've fortified the dollar with gold, you can trust it again. Now we're talking. That's how you know it's the right time to sell. Now, like, if hyperinflation happens and you have gold and your gold goes through the roof, but real estate tanks, and you think, wow, now's a good time where I can take some of my gold and put it into dollars and then buy real estate with it, because I know that the real estate is now going to go up dramatically because everything has now settled. The dust has settled. Right. Because you certainly wouldn't want to sell out your gold and buy real estate in a current economic crisis, because then you're catching a falling knife. But timing is always difficult too, right? Yeah. I mean, no one's really good at timing the market, but otherwise I think you'd see mutual funds outperform the market on a regular basis, which they don't. So yeah, I would say when you need to, or there's opportunity. You see opportunity, you can identify the opportunity, and then you can take advantage of it. Yeah. No, it totally makes sense. But we'll be talking about it on this channel forever. That's true. Right? Yeah. So when we feel like it's the right time to make certain moves, we'll be talking about it here. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why you want to be subscribed to the channel, because you want to be, if there's breaking news or whatever, and we want to come out. To you. Yeah, we want to bring it to you so that you can make smart decisions. I think the only other kind of questions I saw on there for today that I thought were interesting, we got a number of people asking that they are trying to maybe impart wisdom or teach their children, their grandchildren, sound money.
teachings, right? And kind of struggling maybe. And I don't know, because I personally don't have any children yet, so I'm not sure what it's like to be a parent and try and teach your children things. I'm sure in general there are certain topics that are just more challenging than others. Maybe like some people were saying they just didn't feel like they were getting it. But I thought that was kind of an interesting one. And I don't know if you have any
No, you're definitely right.
Sage advice
You're
on that front.
You're definitely right as far as like it being nuanced. Like, well, does the kid really care about learning about it?
Right,
Maybe
right.
they do, maybe they don't. But it's not like you can't talk about it on a. I think the easiest thing to describe to a kid is you have dollars, and the government is control of those currencies. All governments have their own currencies, and they can print however much they want. And the more that they print, the less the value of that currency is. But gold, it's a finite resource, and it's real money. It has been real money forever. And you can always take in whatever currency you earn around the world, I don't care if it's yuan, pesos, Canadian dollars, US dollars, you can always convert that into real money.
Yeah.
Which it has the 4 pillars, and you can look up the 4 pillars of money on Google, and you can describe it to kids. But I think you have a great example of that, because you've talked about it here on the channel, which is what your grandfather kind of did to you, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the thing, is that the people who are asking these questions, they're really in a great position because they obviously already understand these principles themselves. And I can only speak for myself, but as someone who was exposed at a young age to these principles, whether it was from buying my first truck with a gold coin, and that was the whole setup with my grandpa and everything else, or my dad too, showing me gold and silver when I was younger, and just kind of instilling that in me. Maybe at the time it didn't fully click right when I'm younger, but those lessons do stay with you. And I think that's what I would say too, is if there's anyone out there who's trying to impart wisdom or open up their children or grandchildren's eyes, maybe right now it's not manifesting in the way you feel, but that doesn't mean those seeds aren't there, that they won't grow later too. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And everyone kind of has their own light bulb moment, but I think anyone who's out there who's already asking those questions, thinking that way, and helping, share that knowledge, you're already way ahead, is what I would say. Yeah.
What I thought was interesting is a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
You said, "Oh, people are asking, like, gold's at $33.50. Is it too late to buy?"
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we're like, I don't look at the price.
37. Yeah.
And now we're at almost 3,700.
Yeah.
Like, almost, I don't even know what the percentage is. Like a 10%, almost a 10% increase in just a month.
Yeah.
Imagine when there's hyperinflation, how much that increase is going to happen.
It's going to be insane.
It's going to be ridiculous amounts of increase, right? Because
Insane.
everybody will want to get out of dollars, because it'll be really obvious, and they'll want to be in gold. So the price of gold will go through the roof.
Yeah. And you look at all these.
That's why you don't sell it.
Oh yeah.
You keep it.
100%.
I think your camera just went out. It did.
It did. Well, we still got these two.
We do. They can still see you.
I was gonna say, well, maybe that's our cue then for today.
Oh, it's time to get coffee?
Yeah, what do you think?
Sure.
All right.
Let's go.
Nice.